IntellectualRadio.com. Feed your brain. Feed me now.
Yo, this is K Ferg on the K Ferg Show on IntellectualRadio.com and iHeart Radio station. Next to me, definitely got the host with the most, co-host, my man, the one and only, Mr. Marcus Sharp.
What up, K Ferg? Happy Father's Day, bro.
Thank you
Happy
much.
Father's Day.
Happy Father's Day to you as well. Although you don't have children, you have been a father figure.
I've been mama's special friend.
Absolutely. See, Marcus, this ain't gonna work, man.
What, man?
This ain't gonna, mama's special friend.
That's what they call
You done bought 7 pairs of gym shoes, jackets, and, put a couple kids on a couple.
I know where to get school pants at.
School pants all the time. So
you gotta do what you gotta do.
You gotta do what you gotta do. And what good is it if you ain't gonna look out a little kids? You know what I mean?
Can I start off, man? Because we all like to say how coming up we didn't have no black father figures on TV. Everybody, we ain't had it. But that's the fallacy.
They say that we didn't have black
father figures on TV.
I disagree. I think we had way more than we have now. Way more than we have now.
I got a little list. Can I run them off?
You got a list? You got a list of what time? What era are we talking about?
It could get up to about the 90s a little bit. That's about where it stopped.
Back to where?
To the 70s for sure.
Okay, so you're talking about from about the 70s to the 90s.
Black father figures on TV.
Black father figures on TV.
I'm gonna
check it out. All right,
so we got James Evans.
James Evans.
James Evans.
I mean, if you don't got James on the list,
James Evans. I had him. George Jefferson.
George Jefferson. Wait a minute. George wasn't a father. Oh, yes.
Lionel, baby. Come on. He had a son, a black man. George Jefferson,
right,
man.
George Jefferson.
Fred G. Sanford.
Fred G. Sanford.
We got to give it up for Fred G. Sanford, dog.
Yes, we got to get wait. Matter of fact, we got to. All right, go ahead.
Here go a movie one. James Earl Jones and Claudine.
James Earl Jones and Claudine. Okay.
Real talk. Uncle Phil.
Uncle Phil was a father figure.
Uncle Phil was a father figure, man.
All the time.
This was a real life one, but he was in the entertainment. Joe Jackson.
Say
what they want, man.
Okay, so why you say Joe Jackson? Joe Jackson wasn't like a TV show, though.
But he was that, you know what I'm saying? Because he get a lot of hate. They had to hate on Joe Jackson.
But your list said...
There was TV, but he was on, Joe Jackson.
You just want Joe Jackson on this list. That's what it sounds like. It don't have to apply to the list.
Of course, the incomparable Dr. Heathcliff Huxtable.
Dr. Heathcliff Huxtable. So if you could take all of them, minus Joe Jackson. If you could take all of them,
all right,
who would you say needs to come back as the father figure today to more so train all the rest of the fathers? Who is that father? You say it's a tie?
Yeah. Okay. I'm gonna have to give it to Fred G. Sanford though.
You go with Fred G. Sanford.
Hey, man. All right. He raised his boy. He had a business. Taught him, some entrepreneurial skills. They throw that part out. They ran junkyard. But it was his. He owned the home. You know what I'm saying? But then when you talk about adversity, you got to give it to James Evans, though. And that was in the middle. You had one in California and one, I got to give an honorable mention, though.
Okay.
To Mr. Drummond.
Oh, no. What are you doing?
Mr. Drummond don't get no honorable mention.
No,
take it in.
No.
Honorable Willis, dog.
No,
I'm from Harlem, man.
No. I got to edit this part out the show that you even said.
Mr. Drummond don't get no props.
No.
Yeah, Mr. Drummond gets some props, dog.
No, Mr. Drummond, brother. Nah, we ain't going.
I'm sorry, Mr. D.
But I would say the father.
Start that off.
No, I'm just saying. But I would say the father that I think needs to come back, train other fathers. I would probably go with.
Drum roll. Who we got?
I'm going with Cliff Huxtable.
He was the ultimate dad.
Cliff Huxtable. I think what I really liked most about Cliff Huxtable, and honestly, the comedians have played the best male, whatever, I don't know, faithful guys or whatever. But between Cliff Huxtable and Martin Lawrence, I really liked the way they treated their ladies.
I got you.
You know what I'm saying? That was very big to me, and I think that's what kind of like, you know what I mean, gave a big success definitely to like
in terms of what they showed their kids.
As well, Martin didn't have kids on his show,
that's true.
But nevertheless, I think Martin just showed a good, genuine dude who really, really loved this girl, and I thought that was a smooth character to play for that. But the Cliff Huxtable thing, he definitely was crazy about his wife, and it never was it never really drew into a competition thing. He was secure in himself enough to bag up off what she was on half the time. You know what I mean?
But if you check the history of that, you need to check out Amos and Andy, because that was Kingfish and his wife.
Okay.
And I know they ain't nobody know what I'm talking about, but check out Amos and Andy. That was Martin and Gina.
I checked them out. I ain't checked them out enough.
That was Martin and Gina.
Yeah.
Kingfish and that was. Am I right about that, Earl? You think I'm about close with that one? Kingfish and his wife from Amos and Andy, in terms of Martin and Gina with Martin. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Because most of these cats anyway, they done watched something and came up with something else. Of course, like look at me. Watch the Martin show and me.
You should. I was wondering, like, man, when that come on?
yeah.
I seen that before.
Today it comes on today. The K Ferg show today. But anyway, man. So the play, I got this play going that you were supposed to be in. You were supposed to come to the rehearsal. And that didn't go well. I don't know what happened with that. I don't know. Y'all, listen, you cannot depend on Marcus to show up to your play.
No, that is not. Know that right I'm not going to be in town for the play.
Yeah, but come to the rehearsals anyway. Make us fool us. Is all I'm saying. Trick us into believing.
Why would I? I don't even want to. I want you to get your cast tight. I don't even need to be a disruption in the cast.
No, man, I'm just messing with you. But we could use some producer work in there.
I'm willing to help with that. I was very disappointed I could not be in the play, though. When I found out, I'm hurting. I want to be in the play, though.
So wait, but
I'm gonna be out of town, though.
I wanted to make sure I brought this up. Last week, we talked about Bushwick Bill.
He was still here when we talked about it, and it was like probably a couple hours after we talked about it.
So I definitely want to do an RIP to Bushwick Bill.
For sure.
We brought it up, we weren't real sure it was a whole lot of that, but I knew when it kind of circulated in that manner, it was like something gonna be a problem or whatever. But hey, and the next thing is, what you think about Scarface? Scarface says Scarface is dead and he's running for city council now.
Okay, Brad
Jordan.
I always love Brad Jordan.
You think Brad Jordan is gonna be nice for running for city council?
Man, Brad Jordan got what it takes, though. It's somebody in Houston.
Should I play back some of his lyrics for you, sir?
What does his lyrics have to do with anything? You know what I'm saying?
When you start
play back some
councilman, shall I rewind a few of his lyrics for you, sir?
His entertainment lyrics, as opposed to our president's rhetoric.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? But play back some of his lyrics.
But how fair is that to use the president as the barometer on all rhetoric that should be said? Because in that case, then we're just gonna
anybody could be able to run for office at this point. They past should mean nothing, and this is proving that point. Because if they able to forgive, they so forgiving now when it came to him.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But come on, Scarface ain't done nothing compared to this cat at all.
Okay.
Man.
All right, we're gonna take a quick break because we got one.
Your mind playing tricks on you.
We got one of our guests in the building. Give us 1 second. We'll be right back. Excuse me. We'll be right back with you. This is the K Ferg Show on IntellectualRadio.com and our heart radio station.
Just like these things ain't meant to stay the same.
Yo. We're back on the K Ferg Show on IntellectualRadio.com and our heart radio station. We had to pause for calls. One of our guests was late. So, calls.
$80 in tolls again.
$80 in tolls. But
His kids was lavishing him with gifts this morning.
Lavishing him with gifts.
You know
Right. Breakfast essentials. So,
no, that's what was happening.
Let me take a moment. I know we're ready to go in because we got good friends and family in the building. So let me pause for the calls and let y'all know that we got the one and only Mr. Rodney Lumpkins in the building, yo. And an extra one. That's my cousin. So
okay.
We had to put a little
here we go.
Something extra.
You always bringing family in here. He tried that a couple weeks ago.
What's wrong with that?
Nothing.
What's wrong with that, man? You got a bad attitude.
You always gang banging on them days. You gonna try to catch me in the parking lot. I see how this goes.
Today I want you to
be real threatening on the days you have family.
I got family up here. You see how big he is. I'll be kicking stuff off everywhere.
I wonder he was real cocky, this boy.
Yeah, kicking it off. Marcus, you late? I was going crazy. But man, look, what was we chopping up on Marcus?
We was talking about TV files. I was giving up for Mr. Drummond. You say he don't get no props.
No, I don't know.
Yeah, man. Yeah. Every brains are real as an auto, man. Come on. Slide up to the mic. Yeah, all right. But yeah, I was like, because I named all the black fathers. I was like, man, I think Philip Drummond should go and get it, get some of that. Real talk.
Philip Drummond gets no love, no play on any parts of what we're talking about Father's Day and Black fathers.
Philip Drummond, different strokes.
Yeah,
Philip Drummond, and he bring him. Oh, come on!
Get an honorable mention.
I thought it was somebody else. I didn't know you.
Philip Drummond. That's who he's talking about. Philip Drummond, different strokes. Dad, he wants to give him an honorable mention on the black man's Father's Day. Now on the 8 Father's Day, fine if that's what y'all want to get into, but come on,
Mr. D, man. He can't
stop it.
He brought Arnold Willis from Harlem, man.
Stop it, man.
You still let him go back and kick
too, right? That's why he got a check for that.
Right.
He
got a check for that too.
Yeah, he got a check for that, man.
We can't keep that Philip Drummond. But he do have a nice list outside of Philip Drummond and Joe Jackson. Them the only two people.
He got Joe Jackson on there.
He got Joe Jackson on his list as prominent black fathers.
Hey man, Joe Jackson did his thing.
He did, man.
And then
them could have been 9 kids breaking in your house from Gary right now.
Here's the problem. His list is supposed to be prominent black fathers on television. Okay. How the heck did Joe Jackson get in that? You see what I'm saying?
He's on television. He doesn't have a sitcom or nothing. Right. So he was on television, but not on television.
I don't know, man. I don't know if I.
It's a stretch, though. I agree.
He wasn't a character, but he was,
okay, we talking about people that played
the characters.
That's true.
Yeah, actually played.
They played fathers. Like, and I don't want to promote beating on the kids like Joe did either. I'm not promoting that, man.
We all caught our shifts.
We all caught our shifts.
We don't know if his whooping was worse than our whoopings. We just heard from the media.
Yeah.
Because we all got whoopings, right?
We all got
we heard about Joe Jackson.
We just heard about it.
If my father was on there, then it'd probably be like, man, his father kind of bogus for the whoopings he got. But Joe Jackson, we can't agree that his whoopings paid off.
We cannot agree with that. Now stop this.
Y'all not gonna do
it. I said they paid off.
Yes, I think if
there could have been 9 people breaking in your crib out of Gary right now, dog. It could have been that. Think about it. Joe Jackson there could have been 9 more crackheads in Gary, dog.
I think we all
don't realize how close Gary is.
He right. We all need the Joe Jackson belt.
There could have been 9 more crackheads.
Thoughts and views of Marcus Shark do not necessarily represent.
I'm telling you, dog.
The K Ferg Show or Intellectual Radio.
He got them up out of here. Think about the ones that didn't get no whoopers in Gary.
Exactly.
Where they at?
Man, come on. Listen.
On City
first. Listen. Stop. Now, if you were to say that nobody got whoopings, that everybody that was a crackhead or everybody that did wrong, this, that, and the other, went to jail, whatever, never got whoopings, then fine. But that's not the case. A lot of them got the hell beat out of them too, and they just was damn fools. So y'all not gonna do this, man. But what I'm telling you all is that no, you don't necessarily. I'm gonna be honest with y'all. I am against beating on kids, like whooping kids up.
I don't think it should have to be like we got.
I don't know. I think that was abuse. I think that's why our streets look the way they look, because after you get basically bullied at home, you go outside and start trying to bully whoever you can. So me personally, I'm against a lot of it. That's why I liked a lot of Bill Cosby's mannerism of dealing with things and methods of dealing with things. They were more strategic. You know what I mean? They were more patient. You know what I mean?
James Evans gave whoopings.
Yeah, he gave whoopings, but they were instant. Like you'll give yourself time to think, calm down, different things of that nature, man. Some of these whoopings are coming out of some dark places. You know what I mean?
Whoopings project whoopings.
Right.
All whoopings are not equal.
Yeah, so, your mama relationship going bad
for a whooping. I got whoopings growing up, and I think they served a purpose. I didn't go on the street on that you know what I'm saying, crazy stuff, because I ain't want no whooping. You know what I'm saying? So I kept calm, I kept cool, because those whoopings was, they were timely.
But I think it's fair to say that if you had a mother that though you got whoopings or though you didn't get whoopings, her standard was still not for you to be out there in that street.
That's true.
Then I think that we got to stop attaching the standard to the beating. Because you know what I'm saying?
I got what you're saying.
You got people you holding like the standard.
Like this part of the whole thing.
This part of the whole how we get down. It's not just that I beat the hell out of you and then you don't go out in the street. No, it's I'm on so hard that you stick to the things that I'm on. And okay, maybe I'm using the beating to do it, but I'm saying that you could still use something else and still get the same quality of standard without necessarily
the gorilla fist.
The gorilla fist, you know what I mean? The monkey paw, the belt, the switch, the throw, the shoe, all these different abusive things. See, this comes from. I'm gonna tell you, this beating of the kids comes from slavery.
I agree with that. I'm willing to admit
so
that.
Here's the mentality behind that. The mentality behind beating your kids is, I would rather halfway kill you before the slave master kill you.
Okay.
So now over time you got locked and plugged in your mind that that's how you correct kids, and that's how you correct them, and that's how you whatever. But basically that's how you make kids fearful of you. They tell you less. They talk to you less. They don't inform you. They don't sit down and have conversations about real situations that's going on with them, about who said this, who said that. You're kind of blocked away from all that because, again, you want that beating. And you don't know. I don't know if I mess around and tell you what my guy's talking about over here, and I catch one again. So I feel it gives I'm against it. Y'all view. Go ahead. Let's hear it, Marcus. You've whooped a lot of kids that wasn't yours.
I really ain't never whooped no kids. I caught them.
Marcus don't have any kids, but Marcus is known for coming over there with a little party pack for the kids. Double shots of NyQuil for everybody.
I never liked to see other kids get whoopings, but when I got older and I saw why they got them, of course, you adult, you crack it up like, man, I had that all the time. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So it's almost like pledging, like that was what you're supposed to be getting. You know what I'm saying? Your turn. I'm saying my friends' kids catch it. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. That's how I looked at it. So sorry.
I don't know. I don't personally think that you gotta get that degree of discipline always across to your children physically. I think as an adult, you should have learned more methods and means of conflict resolution than only physical. If you look at a lot of adults and so forth that's out here now, they only got one or two ways of conflict resolution. Either they're gonna stop talking to you or they're gonna try to fight you. Like they don't have there's no in between in there. You gotta have those in betweens, and you don't really learn them in betweens. As soon as mama get mad, she smack you. As soon as daddy get mad, he holler at you and whatever. That's my view, man.
Well, I think it's all relative on your child. Some kids you don't have to whoop. Some kids get it. You can talk to them. You can explain, like, don't do this, and they get it. They won't do it. Then you have those kids who who try you. You be like, hey, stop, put that down. Stop, put that. At some point, it's not. You're gonna have to do more than stop, put that down, because they testing you. I got a kid now that tests me. For real, he tests me. Man.
Listen. I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm gonna be honest with you. When you were saying that, I was thinking, this sounds personal.
Yeah, it's very personal. He looks me in my eye, and I tell him, stop, put that down. He still hold it and look at me.
Okay,
that's testing me.
Oh, he still hold it and look at you.
He looks at me like, what you gonna do?
Okay, so do you? Okay, now, so when he do that, hold on one sec. Hold on. So when he do that, do you just grab what it is that he's holding, pull it out of his hand, don't touch it again.
Depending on
and
what
put
it is.
Down,
yeah.
And put it down. My man.
Depending on what it is, yeah. I would grab it and I'll be like, hey, stop.
Okay.
Then he go get it again. and it'd be something else. See, my thing is, no, go ahead.
So let me explain what I'm trying to tell you all. And a lot of people hate to hear this. But rearing kids is the same as rearing dogs.
You say that. You've been saying it the last couple of weeks.
So when you take a dog and you physically hit on it, it doesn't correct the notion
that it's not supposed to do that.
It's only it only starts operating in fear around you, and you're never gonna get there's a whole lot more potential you can get out of the dog. The more patient you are with the dog, 3-4 times of taking it, putting it back, no, the correct. Then you paying attention. This is the problem that most people have with their kids. Now you got to pay attention to the dog. Now I'm basically telling you got to pay attention to the kid after you told him no. Now you got to pay attention to him. You can't get back to what you was doing. You got to pay attention to him. Right. Then when they get ready to go grab again, you got to be right there right before they get there. No, don't. Then couple more. It's a process. A week later, he don't even touch the doggone thing no more. Same thing with the dog. Week later, won't even cross the threshold without being told. It is the same thing. But we have a guest, and I got to get to our guest. I know you waiting to rebuttal. I know. I see your look of rebuttal. It's a process. It's not
right. I feel
with kids. We want them to bam. I said right then. Now we don't want to give a gradual
process. Takes too long.
No, it don't. Yes. No, it's not. Okay, let me get to my.
Sometimes that process takes.
I guess it's pretty. I think she know about some kids. Lily.
What's going on?
Hey, Lily, how you doing? How you doing, Lily? Welcome to the Lily in the K Ferg Show, Lily.
About this dog talk, I've raised a lot of children. I've never thought of it in that way.
Well, that's because Lily, you don't understand the finer arts of training. It is called training. When it's used in adults, it's called rearing. When you're talking about, depending on what animal you're talking about, if it's a chicken, she has chicks. If it's if it's a kangaroo, it has a joey. But at the end of the day, they all have to be raised and reared in a certain manner, from people to whatever it is. They all have to be raised and reared in a certain manner. And that's all that I'm speaking on. And that's what I'm trying to tell y'all. Y'all got to stop beating the hell out of these kids, because you're seeing it out angry people outside the house that as soon as they don't like something, they get physical. That's all I'm trying to tell you. Y'all create.
Stepping in on, so in that regard, I definitely do agree with you. I don't hit the children. I think that's counterproductive, and you're teaching them to fear you instead of respect you, which is not what you want. So we can agree on that.
Thank you.
I disagree.
Right, like I don't care about.
I got what I want to send over to y'all house.
Right. Keep talking. Right. Exactly.
I got what I want to send over to y'all.
Y'all talking a lot of
Yeah.
Show me how this works.
Right. But don't get me wrong. See, what happened is.
Right. See, you see how he took the don't send them over here.
No, it's the same thing. Again, I take you back to dogs.
Well, I think
I like puppies.
I don't want your already.
Exactly. I don't want you.
I don't want you. I'll take them from the beginning. I tell people, if you don't want your child, bring them to me as an infant.
I got you. I got you there. Same thing with the dog. When people call me like, man, this pit for sale. How old is it? 8 weeks. I don't want that. You can have that. You can hire that player. If I get a dog from somebody, I want it at 4 to 6 weeks. Anything over that, you can hire that player.
Wow, 8 weeks.
You can hire that. 8 weeks. Oh, that's no. That's a teenage player. That's a teenager.
So, Lily, what you got for us on this Father's Day?
Yeah, it's Father's Day, so I guess I'm gonna start off by saying that I am such a daddy's girl. I love my daddy.
Oh, that's what's up. What's up? I love you too, baby.
But I love what?
I love you too.
You trying to ruin my dedication to my daddy? No,
I was just messing with you. Your daddy know I'm a comedian. He better go ahead on. Uh-oh, that's your daddy. Somebody just called him. That's your daddy.
I'm so big on daddies, and so I think what I wanted to talk about is it frustrates me that, I do openly say that I have, 5 children and 4 baby daddies, and none of them were the best of fathers. So I guess my question for the fellas is, and before I ask the question, don't start talking about women need to choose better. Okay, we'll accept that, and we're just gonna move right on past.
Thanks for answering that.
What can we do? What can we do to ensure that we're raising our sons to be better fathers?
What can women do or people?
Not women, people. Yeah, no. My son's gonna be a great daddy. By the way, my son's gonna be a daddy. We got about 6 more weeks. He's at every doctor's appointment. I got so many pictures of ultrasounds. I don't know what to do. But no, I'm saying in general as a community, because it seems to be a bit of a prevailing issue. There's a lot of single mothers out here. The relationships with the fathers aren't good. How can we kind of get through that, even if you don't stay with the dad, to make sure that being a father is a priority? Well, what have you done since you're no longer with, and anything that you got for people as far as continuing to be a good father? Because my kids' fathers were great as long as we were together. But when I left, it didn't go that good.
Maybe you should choose better. Oh, you said no. I'm sorry. Oh, I'm sorry. You don't forget that quick.
No, she want to know what we think outside the truth.
Yeah. What can we do besides choosing better to have?
Right. What can we do to turn horribles into goodies? Yeah.
I think that's not what I mean. I just mean to foster a better relationship with fathers and fatherhood, because it seems like it's just not going that well. Not down on any good fathers. There's plenty of them out there. I had a great father, but I know a lot of dudes are struggling with this.
I couldn't even. That's a real broad question.
I think you kind of need a some type of father figure in their life, whether it's like a grandfather, uncle. You kind of need someone in their life that they can kind of look at as a role model, a man. And if you don't have those relationships, I think they have boys and girls clubs and get them into sports, things like that, where there's men around that they can kind of watch and pick up good habits out of, so things like that. I think you probably need to look for some community events where there's fathers or men leading organizations where they can be a part of. Sports is probably the biggest thing where they can kind of get that. I don't know what you're thinking.
Ferg got this look on his face, Lily. You need to see it.
Lily, come on now. I honestly believe that one of the main things that women can do is never, ever, ever, under any circumstances, speak bad about the father around the children. The very first thing you want to do. Never, ever, ever, ever do that. Whoever the father is or isn't, let the children decide and see that for themselves. That's their parent. There are things the father could probably say about the mother. You know what I mean? But nevertheless, the best thing to do is always let them see who that individual is for themselves. You know what I mean? And in terms of helping your kids come along and become who they gonna become, a lot of times they gonna pick that up for themselves. A lot of times they're gonna be playing ball and it may be a coach that they gravitate to a little bit. Or it may be, a particular person in a neighborhood that they kind of gravitate to and things of that nature. Obviously, the society we live in, you got to be as careful as possible. But when you feel you got different people that are taking interest in your children, then I think you got to fall back and let them take that interest. You can't necessarily try to control how everything is done. And I think women have a hard time relinquishing control a lot. So that makes things difficult for them.
Are you sure?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure about that. I got two other guys up here when I said women have a hard time relinquishing control.
Yeah,
they just turned into bobbleheads. So obviously, obviously that is a lot of guys agree with that. And you got to remember, if a lot of guys are agreeing with it, then sometimes you got to search your soul and find it and see where you're doing it at. You don't even realize you're doing it. Some things become second nature.
I'm a control freak. I'm very aware of that. Like everything needs to be my way.
Yeah, that's bad. That's real bad. That's real bad.
You know, but I'm self-aware. I think that's the first step to fixing a problem is to realize there's a problem. Ain't that what they say?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah,
definitely.
I'm a control freak, child. I have to have things my way, so I get that. But I think that in raising the children, I have tried to be less. Well, no, I'm quit lying. I have.
Thank you. Spit my water out, right?
She's like, I'm
hilarious.
You cracked yourself up.
Well, I'm sorry. I apologize. I'm gonna quit lying about that. But I have tried to have like good male role models. So I definitely agree with that. Like the person who was saying that to have good male role models around is very important. I agree with that. I think that sometimes people need to hear it from other men, because when I say things as a single mother, it don't always have as much validity as when a man says it. So I'm just letting y'all
exactly.
know.
Yeah, I totally agree with that. And vice versa. You know, they both need it tremendously. That's why I just think that it's horrible that a lot of times a woman spend a great deal of a child's life undermining the father, and then the child gets to a certain point and you need the father's strong input, but he's already been undermined. So you can't go back and undo that. So you got to kind of think,
I thought you told me that he was.
I don't really respect what dude is. You know what I mean? Because you planted some very negative vibes there and this, that, and the other. And man, that has destroyed. And I'm not even talking about situations where the dad is out the house. I'm talking about that happens with the dad in the doggone house. You know what I mean? You speak bad on these fathers and so forth. That's very, very, very detrimental to the children, to development of the children and all that.
Even if you don't agree, sometimes.
Even if you don't agree, that's what I mean.
In the house.
Be grown up, being adult enough to kind of just be quiet on a few things. You know what I mean? Like, I don't have to agree with his method of this. Maybe we can talk about this later in the room. But right now, in front of kids, I'm not gonna say a word opposed to what he just said. And that's what helps us start getting it. And it's, a lot of times women want to be friends with their kids, or they don't want to rock the boat with them and the father. You know what I mean? So you around here juggling, trying to be friends with both sides, but you got to pick and choose. You got to be wholeheartedly one way or another. And
it's definitely a mentality thing. I done had women like, you still call your daddy? I'm like, what you call yours? Leroy? And that's my daddy. What I'm supposed to call?
That's retarded. That's all the way retarded.
That's how they think. They not, you know what I'm saying? That's how they think.
But a lot of them probably didn't grow up with a daddy. So that's true. They can't wait for it to be over. They tired of hearing you say it around them. You know what I mean?
You call your daddy Clarence, that ain't nothing to do with
that's you and Clarence thing. And all of that, man. I just think you just gotta, ultimately, man. A lot of times people are selfish and they thinking about themselves instead of thinking about the child. And when you think about the child, you got to make different decisions than you would probably want to make for you and what you think and what you experience and what you know. And then the child is not privy to all that. They should.
That's grown
be dealt
people.
With. That's grown. Business. They should be dealt with in a different manner.
You gotta have a solid front.
You gotta have a solid
front. If I see one more of these chicks, that's my king. No, that's
front.
not your king. That's your son.
That's your son. If that's your king, watch what I'm finna do to your empire.
You know what I'm saying? There's a lot of women out here doing that too.
This is my king. He rather,
like, not in an ancestral way.
I know a chick called her son daddy.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? Blows me away.
That's not the head of your household.
We cut that out right there and there. Like,
once your boyfriend.
Once I see that, I'm like, I can't even deal with you no more.
Can't be your boyfriend. Gotta be your child.
His nickname Fat Daddy. I just call him Daddy for short. So why don't you call him Fat for short?
Oh man,
what's his nickname?
Fat Daddy. So I said, well, won't you call him? She like, I just call him Daddy for short. Won't you call him Fat for short? I don't see what's the problem with that. Come here, Fat. call them that. So I don't think that's cool either. But nevertheless, 10 times better than calling a 3-year-old daddy all day.
That's crazy.
Lily, what's your take on women asking to be getting Father's Day salutations?
Yeah, I'm not a fan of that.
Okay.
I think that as a proud single mother, I'm only a mother. I can't be a father. I don't have what it takes to be a father. I think what winds up happening, I feel like a lot of these people that want to have the accolades of saying I'm both parents are people who probably didn't have a daddy. Like, do you know what daddies do? Because it ain't what mamas do, and it doesn't matter. Like, you just can't be a daddy. You know what I'm saying? It's like you just ain't dad. I'm mom, and I'm a great mom, but I'm not dad. So like, I think that's really odd, and I think that people, just really want to be mad and bitter about whatever's going on in their relationship with the child's father, to where they want extra accolades instead of just saying, just be extra good on Mother's Day. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is a day for fathers, and to be a father, you technically have to be a man. So if I'm not a man, I can't be a father. And if I don't and I just told you I got 4 baby daddies that they are who they are. Right. So I just don't say anything. You know what I'm saying? Grandma said if you ain't got nothing nice to say, you just don't say nothing at all. If you be quiet.
If y'all want 2 holidays, y'all could get another one. I chose wrong day. Try that.
Yeah, I mean, maybe
wrong day.
I chose wrong.
I chose wrong day.
And it could be, like the Saturday before or after or something, where they could say, I chose the wrong dude.
That's a good idea. Saturday.
Otherwise, it just doesn't make any sense. So yeah, no, I'm not
stop
with
it.
that.
Y'all gotta stop this.
If they want 2 of them, if they say they've been doing wrong,
it's the accolades that they get, and we need to for them, because there's some great fathers out there. I have one. My brother's a great father. I got great brothers and uncles. My kids, my current boyfriend who ain't got no kids, he's a great father to my children. So there's plenty of people out here that deserve.
Thank you. Thank you for that. I know. I'm trying to be a great one.
Anyway, Lily, we got another caller. Let me see what we got on this other caller.
Awesome.
I don't know how to get it. How we got another caller.
Can I hang up? Can I stay
on? Okay, hold on.
Yo, this is K Ferg Show. Who am I speaking with? I don't know if I messed up. Yo, thank you for calling the K Ferg Show. Who am we speaking with?
Hey, finally, this is Janae Lanice.
This who?
What's up, Ferg? Janae Lanice.
Janae Lanice.
Hello?
Yeah, how you doing, sweetheart? What you want to talk about?
What's the name funny? My name's funny. Like,
no, that's Marcus. No, that's Marcus.
Yeah, blame me.
That's Marcus. How you doing? Thank you for calling in. I really appreciate you calling in. I know you got something great you want to say about Father's Day. I know you got something great you want to say about Father's Day.
Yeah, happy Father's Day, you guys.
Okay, thank you.
You guys are dads. Happy Father's Day, all that good stuff. I was just listening to, the way that you guys were speaking on certain subjects, and I don't know. I mean, it's a toss-up, especially with the whooping thing. When you came in with the whooping thing, okay, I get it. Now, I don't whoop my child, but when my child was with me, he's with his dad now. So, anyway. I don't whoop my child. I would talk to him. I always talk to him and try to explain to him what he can and can't do. However, there's a point that comes in with some children. You can't do everything the same with everybody, every child, every dog. Everything is different. You have to go according to what you're led to do, and also what happens with that child or person or anything, really. So
let me say this. Let me say this. In construction, but when you're building a high rise, no matter, every high rise is different, but every last one of them starts with this huge slab of concrete. Every last one of them. Okay.
Everything needs a foundation.
Okay.
Correct.
And I'm telling you that if that foundation early enough is put in place, strong enough, it don't matter which child you bring forth, you ain't got to be constantly whooping and beating on them and this, that, and the other. If that early.
But to that point.
Because, wait a minute, what happens is.
Foundation. to that point, yes, everything has a foundation. But check this out. What do you lay that foundation on?
Right.
You have to have stable ground to lay that foundation.
That's true. Exactly.
You don't. You have to make that ground what it needs to be in order for that foundation to be laid sturdy and to be there for a little while. That ground that is laid on matters, and people forget that when they're building something. Yes, you need a foundation, but the ground that is laid on, it needs to be stable and sturdy as well, or it's easy.
You can't just be some sand.
Now, what you just said is absolutely true. Right. But you got to understand that ground and that foundation that you that ground that you laying the foundation on, the ground is you. You are the ground as the parent. You are the ground. Exactly. Let me finish. Wait a minute. Let me finish. You went on for a minute. Now we're gonna play tennis over here. So look. So that's fine. You're gonna be hallucinated too. So what I'm saying is, so look, this is what I'm saying. Look, that what you're laying the foundation on, that you're building the foundation on, that's you. That ground, you're the ground. Meaning that the problem you have with fundamentally and with that child is the same way, like I said, with the dog. If from when the dog is small to maybe about 3 months old, I'm flip-flopping on what is going to be definite later on. For example, if let's say you 2 years old and you're not feeling good and you coming in, but all the time you go to bed, you're not supposed to have X, Y, Z, but you're not feeling so we want to be a little extra with you, and we bend the rules. And we bend them a couple more times. Before you know it, we steady building this foundation with a few bent rules in it. Then as we get older, now we want to reach back down in the foundation and try to straighten them rules back out. Shorty having a hard time with that. A very difficult hard time. Mm-hmm. So I'm saying that if them things are laid down hard from day one, I've watched a lot of this happen. I've watched people early on with their kids when they real young. They the most gentle butterfly. Kind of let them get away with different things, spoil them up a little bit, teaching them a whole lot of what ain't gonna really happen in the real world. Then when that child get old enough to start implementing that same crap back, not listening because not listening before might have been cute. Oh, look here, I told him don't get on the couch. He gonna get on it and dance. So now, I'm just explaining to you that you have to always be that what are we calling it? That
you said train your child, rear your child.
You have to always, it has to always be in the same line all the time. Even if I bend it, it has to be a bend that still aligns up with the same line all the time. Because if I don't, I'm going to have issues with this kid. Even if I have to bend it, I may have to bend it with explanation. I can't just bend it and leave them to interpret how I got bent. I gotta maybe bend it by saying, okay, listen, this is why we are going to allow this. This is the only reason.
But Rodney's saying it with a snatch up though.
Rodney is saying it. Rodney's saying the exact same thing with a snatch up. I agree. I just don't.
Caved in chest. I'm just saying.
I just don't.
I agree that.
Why is it that? Listen. Why is it that fathers are less likely? Why is it that fathers are less likely to have to hit on their children than mothers?
Yeah, my mom said it. She's like, your daddy hit me like the bad guy.
I'll tell you why. Because fathers generally stick to the line and the rule consistently all the time. Women love to play double dutch with it. They love to.
Right. Can I make my point now? Is it okay for me to make my point now? Is this something that I'm saying?
Okay, go right ahead.
You don't whoop your child. And when the fathers have to be the bad person, I get all of that. And I get that you have to, if you bend the rules, there has to be some explanation behind it. You have to at least talk to your child. Like I said, I talk to my child and tell him when things go wrong. However, some things that his father and me when I was younger do as far as not listening come up in him. And that's other children too. That's
right.
I'm sorry, I don't know if you can. That stuff still comes out in a child, no matter how much you explain or whatever. So when you done explain to you blue in the face, when you done told this child over and over and over and over, and he's still testing the waters, or she's still testing the waters, at that point in time, that's when you gotta go to the Bible and lay hands on it.
I agree. I agree with that point.
I know you agree with that.
You.
No, you agree with you agree any part that get the hell beat out the kid. You agree. I've noticed that with you, Rodney.
I agree.
You got domestic. You got charges coming up on you real soon. I can see it in your life.
Issue. You're right. You gotta have a solid
keep
foundation.
Beating that boy so he don't be breaking in my house later on.
Right. I don't want him breaking.
Joe Jackson Jr. right
here. I don't want him breaking. This boy gonna be breaking in my house. Put your hands on that boy.
Is wrong with fear? There's nothing wrong with a child having fear when he's growing. I had fear growing up from my father. I had fear, and that fear was healthy. It was a healthy amount of fear. Now I wasn't scared of him, but I knew the right and wrong. Fear is good. Like if I look at my bank account now, my bank account is low. I can go to the bank and grab what I need, but the fear of the consequences of doing
overdraft,
that,
right.
or you know what I'm saying? That fear is healthy. It's not, I don't think it's nothing wrong with fear. Now, you can still not just be like fearful of your father, or your parents, but also someone who communicates with you, do things with you. I lay hands on my son, but I also take him to get some ice cream. I also take him to a baseball game. I also take him. You know what I'm saying? I'm not. It's just not.
Why we gotta call it fear? Why we gotta call it fear? Why can't it just be we are well aware of what we don't need to do and do need to do because our parents showed us in a very intricate way.
Okay, so now
the child is fearful. The child is aware that if I do this too much, now they didn't explain to me this, but my child is aware that if he go too fast, I done explained it so many times,
right.
And maybe he got an extra time. Now he's aware that he might get a backhand in his mouth, or he might get a pinch up under his goddamn arm like my grandmama used to do me.
Okay, I got you. But now this is my view. Okay, I hear you all's point. But now my question to you, as well as to Rodney, the two Mike Tyson parents in here. All right. Here's my question. Here's my question to you beaters. Okay. So you take everything that you just said into account, and I want you to apply that being a principle and that being a foundation to now being out in the world when you run against people who you may have told you in a workplace or you in a different that the other, and you may have told somebody to not do something a couple times, or like how do you respond? How do you, not even that aspect? How do you tell your child to deal with a situation where someone's not listening to what it is that they're asking them to do? What method do you teach your child? Do you tell your child if they do it again?
No, I teach him the method before he got his butt whooped. That method that I was talking to him and explaining it to him, that was the approach.
It's not working.
Then when it led to his butt whooping, then that was the end effect. So he's getting that teaching or how to relate as he gets older before he gets the end result. So in order not to get that end result, then he needs to listen to me and do what he needs. And that's how you
but what I'm asking, right. But what I'm really,
can I wait before you go?
Wait a minute. No, I really want to make sure you all get this question right, because I hear what you all saying, but I still don't hear the answer to my question. I'm trying to find out.
Right quick.
No, hear me out. I'm trying to find out. At what point would you tell your child that it's acceptable to physically resolve their conflict?
I don't think that's the same.
Different situations.
I think those are totally different situations. I always tell my son, if he get hit, then he has to hit back. That's when you use that conflict. Except if I hit him. If I hit him,
look at the rule being around here. Look at the rule being.
But other than me,
look at the rule being
and his mama.
See what I mean? Y'all see what I mean about the rule being? See what I mean?
But it's explained to him. He understands that.
See what I mean? This is not right.
That's a different situation. Like I said, I grew up with butt whoopings, and I know how to deal with situations with conflicts at work. I know how to deal with that. I would have been lost my job if I raised my hand at anybody. But
you know because you can't do it, right?
Because I cannot do it.
But how many times? But listen, it is not his child at work. But you got to remember, here's the foundation of what we're teaching somebody.
But the reason I don't.
So how many times
at
work? How many times at work have you wanted to physically put your hands on somebody?
When you are sitting there with, first of all, when you sit there with your child, you got different levels of your child's learning experience that you have to deal with. Because once they come in contact with another party, meaning someone outside of your household, someone outside of your family, once they come in contact with outside people, the directives change, their levels change, because it's no longer just how we operate inside the house, what rules we have inside the house. Now you have to learn how to become a functioning citizen as a part of a society. And that's completely
your first view
where we're taking the learning inside the home.
You
know what I'm saying?
I know what you're saying, but the very first view of society is in your home. Your very first example of society is in your home.
You should know if you run up on somebody bigger than you, you're gonna get smashed.
Oh,
yeah, that's.
I had a fucked up. I'm sorry, I keep cussing. I had a messed up upbringing. My mama taught me how to act outside of the house with the people. She taught me how to act with these certain people, because you have corporate America, they act a certain way, even though when they at home, they might do the freakiest, nastiest, craziest things you ever heard of. But when they in public, they are corporate. They are about their business. They look like this. They talk like this. When you go to school, your teacher's going to be doing this. There's a format for all of that. And if you're sitting there teaching your kid these different steps and talking to them about all of this stuff that they got to take in, then it's going to be helpful. But your child, at the end of the day, once they reach a certain age, which is now a particular level in society as well as your home, they are going to act how they want to act based on what else they took in from friends, how they saw friends act, how they saw teachers act, how they saw teachers and friends react to each other, how they saw strangers react, police, people at the gas station.
I feel you.
Of this in.
So my thing is, wait a minute. You real long-winded now. Hold on for a second. This is a radio show. We all got something to say. Hey, we ain't no relationship, woman. You got me in the front row. So you got to sound bites. You got to speak in a bite, sound bites. Then, yeah. But Rod, go ahead. What's your view on that?
No, I kind of agree with what she's saying, but I think we're not just whooping the kids. We're not just. There's reasons for each situation that a child has to be disciplined. Now, I don't go straight to whoop them. I talk to them. We discuss things. I try to teach them right and wrong. But at some point, they don't want to comply or conform to what's right, even though you're giving them chances and opportunities. And sometimes you have to say, hey, listen, you're going to get your butt whooped if you do that again. And it's not, I don't think it's anything wrong with that.
But let me ask you this. So then my question is, if that's not available to you, let's just hypothetically speak that butt whoopings are not available to you. Now what do you do? You're saying that the child won't never conform? The child won't ever learn? The child won't ever get what it is that they need to get? Is that the going consensus? If I can't do this, is the only other method. There's not another
it depends
method.
On the kid, though.
Hold on. I'm telling you from whatever kids you want to come up with. I'm telling you.
I cannot whoop his butt. That's what you're saying. I cannot.
That is off the table.
Off the table.
Okay. And let me tell you when that comes off the table.
You in your house, you can't.
Let me tell you when that comes off the table. In my opinion, that comes off the table around, and I would say somewhere around 6 or 7. That should be off the table. Well, by that time, you should have established what's going on.
Okay.
There may be, and like when you talk about whooping, I'm talking about spankings.
Right.
I'm saying spankings are from this out the womb to about 7 or 8. We're not spanking anymore because I've built a very strong foundation of you understand what I'm about, what I'm not about. Right. What this, that, and the other. You when I say move, it's not. Not. You start that then later on when you say
still
move,
gonna try.
Yeah, they're not gonna try you at that 14? Magnitude. I'm trying to tell you. It's not going to happen.
Some of them will.
Some of them will try you to a degree,
each
but
child is different.
Everybody can only try you only so far, according to how much you put that solid foundation in there. They can only try you so much after that. But you just got to remember that a lot of us find that hard to believe, because from that same period that I'm telling you to 7, 8 or whatever, that's cute and fuzzy, and they let a lot of crap
go between.
Yeah. They let so much crap go, but then within that time frame, because that's the cutest moment. Oh, look at the little spit on his lip.
Well, that means
look
they
at the
didn't build their foundation right. They didn't lay down. They didn't use the right tools, and they didn't build it right.
So that's why.
Them.
So
that's
now you're trying to So now, as this building is erecting, it's leaning over. I mean, yeah, it's creating all kind of problems and stuff as we going up. We got all kind of problems. The further up we start trying to build with it, the problems just keep persisting over and over and over, because
they changed too.
At this early part, when we were supposed to take the best advantage of building the hardest, we actually can be more lenient going up than we are down here at this bottom. And this down here is when we should be extremely harsh. We build it, ass backwards here, because we're building this weak foundation on, always all these fun, cheery things, and then as we go up, we trying to build a stronger whatever. That's
do you go overboard?
The framework. We're trying to have a strong frame, but the foundation is off.
Absolutely, exactly. So that is why we.
But it's
beating on these doggone kids.
No, I mean, no. Each foundation is different. I mean, yeah, you want to have a strong foundation, but you have to know the type of child that you have to determine what type of foundation you need to.
What are we talking about when people say what type of child? What are we talking about? Some medical issues?
I mean,
what are we saying? It's not a medical issue.
Every child is not the same. Every building. I mean, if you erect the building in Chicago as opposed to a building in California, it's going to be some differences, because you got to account for the wind and things in Chicago that you don't have to account for in California. So it'll be some differences.
Remember this forever. Remember this forever. The situation may change, but the principle remains the same. So it doesn't matter. Okay, so let's understand. I don't care how many different situations you give me. The principle remains the same. You got to build that foundation the same, not exact same way, but I'm saying you have to build a foundation and solid in what you're about, and no matter which state, city, country, wherever you go to.
Right, but you have to have that knowledge of what you need for each particular situation. That's all I'm saying.
If you build a
situation may be different. You have to have the knowledge for each particular.
Don't even know how to build a foundation for real.
So that takes me to my next point. I'm glad y'all brought that up. That is a Lumpkins building. This is Rodney Lumpkins here. This is a Ferguson building. This is this is Kendall Ferguson. This is a Ferguson building. This is well, don't worry about it. Marcus, don't worry about it. Marcus is a rest haven for them. But so what has to happen is, the main thing is that you have to know what it is that what building you're building. Because whatever seed or whatever fertilizer of that egg that goes into that, I mean, that man is, you know what I mean? Like, that's what you're getting.
Right.
And you got to understand, sometimes you got to look at the guy you with and make adjustments to the foundation right then and there. You got to sometimes look at the girl, the woman you with, and try to make adjustments to the foundation right then and there. You might. Because sometimes it is the right choice, but I'm saying, but once you in and you can't come back, it's like, that's fine. But I know some of these things are going to persist in you, so it's about limiting how much strength it has, or how much. For example, like my son Dylan, use him as a perfect example. He's just like me,
right?
Over the top, over the top. So I know this. I see me. I watch what he do, and it's how do I deal with me at that age? I try to make the adjustments in him now, and you know what I'm saying? We holler on these different things, or I pull him to the side, or my favorite thing to kind of align him real quick is I'll pull him to the side long before whooping or even trying to touch him, which has been persistent with me all the time. I'll pull him and be like, "Listen, man, I'm starting to get extremely upset. I'm getting upset right now. Oh, that dude start tightening up because usually it gets physical.
Exactly.
Okay,
it's got a physical behind that.
Right.
But we have a 12-step butt whooping program.
But you do.
Is all I'm saying around
sounds
here.
like you do whip butt too.
No, up to about 7 or 8. Dylan, listen, I hate to say it because I don't want him to be watching, but he can be about done.
Early, you do whip butt too.
Early, yeah. But that wasn't whooping butt. That's tap ups. I'm definitely putting down tap ups. I'm definitely putting them down
a nice
at that early
for it, but you
tap up.
No belts. No belts. All that stuff. I mean, I had to whoop my oldest son once or twice with a belt, but for the most part, he 18 now. He'll tell you he might have got 1 or 2 whoopings his whole life. But I built in a certain way, so it wasn't even had to really do all that. You know what I mean? It just really wasn't had to do all that. And to be honest with y'all, as parents, it's sometimes some of these whoopings are out of frustration. Sometimes you're frustrated.
You look like your daddy.
Yeah. You look like your daddy. You know what I mean? You act like your mama. No. That's your mama stuff out of you. I'm gonna knock that out of you. You know what I mean? And that's not necessarily the case to what we're able to do.
Whooping out of anger, out of frustration.
Whooping out of anger. I think
like
anybody
that's
before you deal with your child as something that upsets you, be adult-like and be adult enough to step aside and take a few minutes and count to 10, count to 20, or gather yourself, because you got to deal with a person. And when anger is energy, just like love is energy. Mm-hmm. And if you operate out of anger and physically putting your hand on somebody, you're transferring that energy. If you're operating out of love and you physically touch somebody, you transferring that energy. Mm-hmm. When two people don't like each other, they have to touch each other. It's a different kind of energy versus two people that love each other, care about each other, embrace each other. There's a transfer of energy.
It doesn't even work with just touch. It's just the vibrations of a person. A person's
when you walk in the room. But I'm just using about how I'm talking about how to transfer it. Like, it'll be in there, but through that physical act is how those energies are transferred. Just like with you and your woman, when sometimes you touch each other in a certain way and you get butterflies in your stomach. These are energies being transferred and transmitted through people. But I have to end my show. I had a great show today with you guys. Thank you very much for calling in. Janae, right?
Janelle Lanice.
Janelle Lanice on IG. Yeah, I'm an artist. I'm an abstract artist.
That's right. I've seen your paintings. Yeah. I want you to do me. I want you to paint me.
I do abstracts.
No, I want you to paint me abstract. Don't nobody know it's me, and I want to camouflage against the wall.
I figured out how to do that. That's some cool shit. That's a good idea. I'm not sorry. Cussing. That's some cool stuff.
You need a whooping sound like.
Look like the whoopings you got. Look like all the whoopings. Look like all the whoopings you got still didn't work. You know what I mean?
You ain't got no home training.
You ain't got no home training.
We asked you three times.
Right. We asked you 3 times. Now. All of that. At this point, at this point, we need you to text us your address. You in trouble. It's gonna be some moving around now.
She talking about don't threaten her with a good time.
Right. Right. But stop it. Don't, Marcus, stop. As soon as you get your IG, Marcus pull it up, now he's flirting. Do not call this show. It's turned every time. But look, I have to get out of here. I'd like to thank each and every last one of my guests for calling in and tuning in to the K Ferg Show on Intellectual Radio. Before we go, Rod, anything you want to give us, your Instagram, Facebook?
Yeah, follow me on IG, Rodney Lumpkins Comedy. Follow.
Okay, that's what's up. Marcus, yours as always.
At MShark22.
22.
Yep, on Instagram.
Instagram.
But it was something else. Happy Father's Day to my pops, man.
Happy Father's Day to Marcus.
Happy Father's Day to my father.
And definitely a big, huge Happy Father's Day to my old man. What I bless up, man. I love him. All right, peace, y'all. Thank y'all for calling in to the K Ferg Show on IntellectualRadio.com and our heart radio station.
Just like these things, they tend to stay the same.